Israel and Iran have a ceasefire agreement. We will see how far it goes. Let's look back the past few days, see what happened. So as you know, Israel struck Iran a few days ago. Then US also struck Iran. They took 3 B-2 bombers and they bombed 3 different nuclear sites, or allegedly nuclear sites, in Iran. And then Iran attacked a US Qatar base. There weren't any US soldiers in it, or they at least say they weren't in harm's way. And then after that, so Iran attacked Qatar base, and then Iran and Israel both agreed on a ceasefire agreement. Yesterday at 5:02, President Trump sent this on True Social. Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful. On the assumption everything works as it should, which it will, I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel, God bless Iran, God bless the Middle East, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the world. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. Here on Khamenei's page, Khamenei is the leader of Iran. He has not sent anything out on X. He hasn't posted anything. There have been statements that they have agreed to a ceasefire agreement. Same thing for Benjamin Netanyahu. He hasn't posted anything in the last 19 hours on his X page. We can refresh it right here. Kind of surprising. You would expect them to have posted something. The interesting thing is that right after this agreement, as it said on President's statement, that there would be a time frame where they could finish the attacks that they were currently doing, and then the ceasefire would begin. Apparently, that's exactly what happened, that they continued doing an amount of attacks, and maybe it went overboard, and it ticked President Trump off. He didn't like it. We will see his response this morning. So yesterday afternoon was that one tweet about, or one truth about, hey, this is great, it's a peaceful end. This is this morning of what he had to say once Iran and Israel both kept attacking each other.
Israel says that Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Do you have to respond to Iran?
Allegedly, this is the first time a president has, while being on camera, while being interviewed, not on a hot mic, is the first time since the 1770s, or first time ever, that a U.S. president has dropped the F-bomb. So tensions are hot right now. Anyway, so we have the story of that we have a ceasefire agreement, and now they're both attacking each other. We'll look at a few articles. Here we have the LA Times. Trump says Israel-Iran ceasefire is in effect after deal initially faltered. So the deal was on, and now they're attacking each other. LA Times, NPR. Trump is not happy with Israel after saying it and Iran both broke a ceasefire. President Trump lashed out. He sent a warning. Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do it, it is a major violation. Bring your pilots home now. So as you know, ceasefires are extremely debatable, and they're not very firm or permanent always. Russia and Ukraine have had many ceasefires. Israel and Hamas have had many ceasefires. Many countries that are at war with each other, that are in battle, have ceasefire agreements, and they break those ceasefire agreements. A ceasefire can lead to a steady peace, but it's not certain. Hopefully, I think the whole world wants it that this specific conflict does end into a real ceasefire. Israel, here on Fox News, accuses Iran of violating ceasefire with missile drone launches, and it threatens more strikes. So Israel's saying, well, Iran started it. They have kept sending missiles, drone attacks, and we will fight again. We will send more strikes out. 7 minutes ago, House Speaker Johnson says Iran nuclear chief's comments about restarting program are madness. Right. So here, this is crazy. Iran's nuclear chief Mohammad Eslami said that the Islamic Republic is surveying damage to its nuclear industry and preparations are underway for its restorations, according to Reuters, citing the Iranian Mehr news agency. So I think it's the Iranian state news agency has said they're already looking at rebuilding the nuclear industry, which does consider questions. I know that there's a lot of disagreements about this issue, whether the U.S. should attack Iran. So back up a little bit. So the U.S. was thinking about attacking Iran, attacking their nuclear sites, and there were a lot of a split decision, and it wasn't even Republicans, Democrats. It was within both parties were split. You had inside the MAGA camp, you had Tucker Carlson, who's been a big fan of President Trump, said no, do not attack the nuclear sites, and you have people on the same support side, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham hasn't always supported President Trump. But Ted Cruz, different people were saying, no, attack Iran and attack their nuclear sites. People like Tucker Carlson. And on the left, you have AOC. You've got, the squad. They were saying, don't attack Iran. And one of the big comments was that there's no evidence that Iran actually has nuclear facilities. Even Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Security, she came out not that long ago and said there was no nuclear advancement inside the Iranian regime. And then President Trump came out and said, no, she's wrong. The Director of National Security, or National Intelligence, Director of National Intelligence is wrong. So there's a lot of different opinions on both sides. It's not really a Republican, Democrat issue, but this is interesting. So this nuclear chief is saying that we're going to restart the nuclear industry in Iran. The nuclear chief says this. So I guess they're still going for nuclear weapon. That was the goal. Whether they had the enriched uranium or not, I guess that's the main debate. Iran-Israel ceasefire teeters as the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, accuses Tehran, the capital of Iran, of violations. Man, this is wild. I want to show you this. This is really interesting. This is CNN. They've got a map they have a couple of different maps. So this first map is all the different areas in Iran that have been struck by Israel and the U.S. since June 13th. So all the red dots are all the Israel strikes. We'll zoom in on this. So here you have Tehran. That's the capital. You see all the red dots are all the Israeli strikes. All the yellow dots, these 3 yellow dots, are the U.S. strikes. And the green dots are alleged nuclear facilities inside of Iran that belong to Iran. So here you have those three sites in Iran that were struck with those B-2 bombers. They had those bunker buster bombs that went down many meters into the ground, and then they go down into the ground past reinforced concrete. And then once they get to their destination, then they blow up. I think they even they were so deep, these facilities, they had to stack them. They had to send one bomb to dig far and then another one to go farther. I believe that's the case. So these 3 locations were struck. Yeah, pretty wild. And then you have another one. This is the capital zoomed in. These are all the sites of Israel's attacking since June 13th. And then you have inside of Israel, all the areas that have been attacked by Iran since June 13th. So here you have Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is sort of the running capital of Israel, although many consider Jerusalem as the capital. Tel Aviv is where it's sort of their Washington, D.C., all the politics come out of. It's their business capital. So you have Tel Aviv, you have Beersheba. I'm not going to pretend to know where had to say all these locations. But yeah, super interesting. So this is a very fluid situation. Hopefully there's a resounding peace. No more missiles from Iran, from Israel. I know that inside, I do want to take one more look at something. Khamenei's, how do you spell that? Khamenei. Yeah. inside Khamenei's Twitter, he did tweet something 17 hours ago. He said, "Those who know the Iranian people and their history know that the Iranian nation isn't a nation that surrenders." And then he said, "Palestine is a central issue to us, and the victory of Palestine, of the Palestinians, is something that's definite." So, of course, during the situation, another thing that can't be forgotten is the Israel-Hamas conflict, which Iran is tied to. So I'm sure that this also has a hand to play of what they plan to do next in terms of strikes, not striking. Hopefully a resounding peace. The situation is changing quickly. And if you'd like to see more of this kind of news, you can like, subscribe, comment. See you next time.